I'm glad you asked. Here's the deal. Fact of the matter is, demographics are shrinking. The trades are breaking down. The infrastructure that keeps our lovely country running is slowly but surely being chinked away piece by piece, doing no small part to our previous predecessors. But rather than play the blame game, let's see if we can't figure out something to do. Here's my proposition. I give you the T games. So what are the T games? Well, the T games are kind of like esports, where you get a bunch of people together and you play a bunch of video games, you broadcast it to the world, and people watch, and sponsors come in and bring their money in and make the flow go. Now, the T games. What are the T games? What does the T stand for? The T stands for the trades, the tools, the things that people do on the daily basis to keep our dailies running. What do you mean? What do I mean by that? I mean plumbers. I mean electricians. I mean HVAC people. Those guys, the unsung hero who came in one day and fixed your refrigerator, and maybe helped your wife out a little bit too. I won't judge. Anyway, we have the T games. So this is a thing here. Let's say we got this going. The T games would essentially be a series of challenges based around the different trades. So, if you're in the electrician side of things, that would mean doing underruns, going underneath the house and wiring up stuff quick as a whip, and going through the attics of houses and crawling through there, getting everything put into place, or doing high-speed replacements of transistor boxes and that sort of thing, or doing the high wire work with a bucket truck, probably driving from place to place really, really fast and getting the things up and going. The idea here is that we're adding time pressure to everything. It makes it a little more dangerous, but that's the point. It's supposed to be difficult. It's supposed to be prestigious. But I digress. The idea here is we're going to make this into an event. We're going to make this into something with pizzazz. And what do I mean by pizzazz? Well, you ever seen American Gladiators? Although all of you boomers in the audience know what I'm talking about. It's that thing with those giant red Q-tips that people went pap 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 beat each other up with, and people with probably some testosterone or other things to make their muscles go like big and huge, and American flags all over the place. But if you're not thinking of that, think of Ninja Warrior. That's a little bit more modern. Same idea, except less suspectingly gay. But I digress. That's just an opinion. We'll see if it's actually a thing or not. But along with that, we also have, of course, the various games that Mr. Beast has been doing. We say that is the modern equivalent of those old school things. But I'm thinking we do a little throwback. We take these different trade performances, these different things, these challenges, and we give them that same veneer. We make it like WWE. We make it like American Gladiator with the lights, the pizzazz, the prestige, and of course, the presentation. Now, you're probably asking, wait. Nobody's done this before, and I defy you, someone has done this before. Greenlee, they do their tournaments down in Florida. Look them up. But they've done this thing, but it's it's inside a gym. It's a little bit less pizzazzy and prestigious. So I'm thinking we just take it up a notch. We make it so that it is an event, something that people would travel around the world to come and see. That's the idea. Make it like Super Battle Opera. Make it like WWE. WWF. Make it like the Olympics. We'll just call it the T-Olympics. Now, with that mentioned, there's some other benefits to having this go. Like I said, this is a part of the goal to save America. So one of the things here is that we are elevating the trades from where they were. No longer is it this thing where it's like, oh, well, I mean, you could go into tech and all of those things, but if you're not educated or you're not a terrible person, or if you are a terrible person, go into the trades, go over there, and slough along with the dregs just like everyone else. No, we're not looking at it like that. These are the people that keep our society running, and we should treat them and see them as such. This is meant to do that. This will elevate them. We will look at every tradesman that is in this like a pro sportsman, and we will pay them accordingly so that they actually come out here and try it out, and we make it something that everyone aspires to. The young aspire to become T-sportsmen. They perform, and the other thing is that this is an elevation of skills that people use on the regular basis to make your life work better. I'm talking about the people who fix your washing machine, like stated before, and your fridge, and wire your houses, and install your plugs, and all of those things. Lay out the things on the walls. We should be loving these people, and this is a way to make that happen. Now, with that mentioned, the thing is, this becomes a sport that people can bet on, because of course that's one way to bring people in. Get somebody who's really good at the stuff, pit him against somebody else who's kind of okay at the stuff but has a chance. And we're off to the races. Now, that's another thing, but that will happen organically because people bet on everything. That's just how it's going to go. Now, along with that, like I said, this is going to be elevating the trades. But along with that, because there's going to be a lot of money involved, cash prizes, of course, but also sponsorships. Sponsorships from who, you might ask? Well, of course, sponsorships from people like Greenlee, people from Nikita, people from Milwaukee, people from DeWalt, people from Rigid, people from that green one that all of the people use in their houses. I don't remember the name of it, but I use it all the time. I should know the name of it. That's beside the point. The idea here is that not everybody knows who they are. I mean, anybody who's in the trades knows what they are, but before I became an electrician, I didn't know about Nikita. I didn't know about Rigid. I didn't know about Cobalt. I didn't know about any of that stuff. So, this is a way for that advertisement to get out there, where everybody who performs might be sponsored by one of those groups, and you never know who's going to pick you up, and you just have to display the skills and the abilities to do it. So, along with that, now we have our source of sponsorship, but it's not just there. It's also the distributors. Of course, we can get sponsorships from Harbor Freight. We can get sponsorships from Home Depot. We can get sponsorship from Waters. Okay, I know most of you don't actually know who Waters is. That's okay. That's why they're sponsoring, so that you know who they are. This is the point. Now, okay, we've got all of that, right? Right. Following with me, tracking with me? Okay, so we attract the tradesmen into this space, but we don't just do this for established tradesmen. We also do this for new, up-and-coming people. We're going to make a new license category for this. We're going to call it the junior tradesman. So we already have apprentice, and we already have apprentice, and we already have journeyman, and we already have master. But apparently, there's this whole thing with if you don't have enough experience, you can't even get in as an apprentice in the unions. It's kind of weird. It's kind of dumb. Guys should probably fix that. That's beside the point. We make the junior license the license for people that are younger. The reason why we create this is so that we can have people in the high schools, we can have people in the universities participating in this stuff. We'll have uni teams, college teams doing this stuff. We'll have high schools doing this stuff. And of course, we'll have the actual pro teams doing this stuff. We do it just like they do it in pro sports, except we're actually benefiting society. Now, that's not to say that pro sports doesn't benefit society. It entertains us. It's the circuses and the bread and circuses. I love distraction, don't you? Anyway, that's beside the point. This will be distraction, but it will also be elevating the people that actually support our infrastructure on the regular. We turn these things into challenges. We give it pizzazz, like I said before, and we start drawing people in with the money that is involved in this stuff, and also the skill investment that you will use further on into the rest of your life, training to become something like this, to become that pro, the storied pro, the person that gets baseball cards made of them. Of course, these aren't going to be baseball cards. We're just going to call them T cards, trade cards, trading card game for T. Anyway, that's beside the point. Now, like I said, this is a thing where we actually build up the young people to be in this thing, because we actually have the younger divisions as well as the upper echelon divisions. And like I stated before, we're going to be giving this a little bit of pizzazz, making this interesting and fun so that people actually watch. Where are we going to broadcast this thing? Now, of course, we've got YouTube, we've got Rumble, we've got all of the different social media spaces. BitChute. I know not all of you know about that, but hey, it's there. It exists. We can also do it on LinkedIn, we can do it on X, we can do it on Instagram, we can do it on TikTok, we can do it on all of those spaces. But in addition to all of that, I'm thinking we go a little step further. Now, have any of you heard of The Chosen? Of course, some of you have. Well, the Christians in the audience know what I'm talking about. Now, the distribution for Chosen was unique. It was done as an app put onto the Play Store, and I'm thinking we do something like that. We make a little app that we can broadcast to at any time, which means that we are platform agnostic. We don't have to depend on any of those other platforms. Now, of course, we can still stream on them, and they can advertise on our stuff, because we're going to be bringing in the big bucks. It's going to happen. I believe it. I believe it. Do you? Of course you don't. That's why I'm talking to you right now. Anyway, I digress. Now, so we've got that app, right? So we're going to broadcast to the app, and the nice thing about that is it will notify you when a new cast is going on. It will also tell you about when registration is happening for these things. It'll tell you what you need to do to get registered. It'll tell you the different lessons you need to do. It's all-in-one, all-encompassing thing. Everything T-Games related is in this app. And you've got a captured audience because they're going to be on your phone. Everybody has a phone right now. And it's just a thing. Everybody has a phone. So... But of course, we can also download this onto your laptop. Of course, if you're somebody who is still in those desk jobs, which woe be unto you. I salute you, good sir, for your sacrifice, I suppose. But if you're still in that, you can download it onto your desktop and have the games going in the background. And I mean, of course, we'll also do legacy television, I suppose. We can have this stuff broadcasting in the airports and in the coffee shops and other training facilities that will probably spring up in response to this thing getting so big. But I digress. So, okay. We got all of that stuff, and you're probably asking, okay, wait, who's going to actually figure this shit out? Who's going to build these? Who's going to turn these trade performances that, mind you, we've already doing these things in the Greenlee tournaments down in Florida, and there are probably other tournaments that I don't know of that are actually doing the same thing. I just know of that one specifically. Well, I mean, the first thought is we ask for Mr. Beast to do his thing on this. He knows everything about virality, and I think he would be an excellent fit for this. Now, granted, there's some controversy around the man. I understand, and some of it I'll forgive, others of it I won't. But that's beside the point. Fact of the matter is, Guy knows how to make a thing viral. So, he would be my first pick. Now, beyond that, we have the showrunners for the original American Gladiators. I don't know if they're still alive, but, if they are, I want to find them. I'd love to have them on this. And, of course, any showrunner that's done, anybody who's done something like Ninja Warrior or that sort of thing. That sort of stuff, all about it. So, those would be the people that I would counsel for doing this. And the thing is, now I know Mr. Beast never does a thing more than once. So, this would be a nice boon to have him helping out with this and doing that thing. And I think it would also do some good for his image. And I feel like it's the type of thing that he'd do. It's kind of charitable. Regardless. So, we talked a little bit about the idea, the sponsorships that would likely be brought in for this. We talked about the benefits to some of the benefits to society, not all of them. I will get into more of those in a little bit. We've talked about the idea of there being of creating a new license specifically for this, also to draw attention to the fact that licensing is a thing in the space, and I think that would be a great way to actually section out the different performances and everything like that. I've also talked a little bit about the fact that this could become a thing that you actually do from high school to high school to college. You actually have different performances and stuff, and this is a way to actually build up the general trade knowledge and elevate the various peoples that need it. So, who are the people that need it? Well, people like me, millennials. We learned the wrong skills, and so now is a great time for us to have incentive to learn how to do that stuff. Gen Z, which we know that a lot of them have become NEETs, and there's a couple of reasons for that. I mean, one of them is, frankly, the job market is stupid and dumb and really crappy and bad and dumb and bad and dumb. I'm going to say it one more time. It's stupid and bad and dumb and crappy, and it needs to be fixed. But in response to that, you know what you do? The thing you do in response to that is you start your own business. How do you start your own business? You get the skills that you get the skills. You get the skills to pay the bills. How do you get the skills to pay the bills? You get somebody to teach you. And herein lies the problem for Gen Z, millennial, and beyond. Nobody wants to teach them. Well, how do we fix that? We give them an incentive. That's what the T games are there for. The T games give the incentive to teach the next generation because Lord knows we need it. Lord knows we need it. Okay, now, and I said this was a way to save America, right? Now we're getting into the side effects, and take these with a grain of salt. But let me ask you this: what is something that is attractive to a woman? Well, of course, a sterling jawline. Muscles, sure. The ability to do a slick one-liner, I suppose. But in reality, the thing that a woman wants is to be safe. Now, how do you make a woman feel safe in this economy? Well, you have to be a strong businessman, or you have to have some way of making money. Or you have to be able to fix the stuff that breaks on the regular. And who can do that? Give you one guess. Did you guess? No? Okay, I'll answer for you. It is a tradesman. A tradesman can do all of those things. A tradesman is actually freaking cool. The problem is that we, as a society, have pushed them down over the years and said, you don't want to be a tradesman. You want to be a tech bro. And I'm not gonna knock the tech bros. It's a very important thing. I got you. And don't worry, I've got something for you too. But I digress. The thing is, we need our tradesmen, and we need to respect them for what they do. They keep our society running. We need to treat them as such. These games will be a part of that. I will be a part of the movement to make that happen. But in addition to that, the thing is, tradesman is the guy who's actually useful around the home. He's the guy that can actually wire up all of that, who can actually wire up the house. He's the guy that can fix the door. He's the guy that can fix the windows. He's the guy that can do all of those things. And he can do that for other people in his town, making buku dollars in the process. Yeah. And if he gets a master's license in his space, well, at least per the unions, I mean, you can do the work outside of it. I'm not gonna say anything about that, you know. But if he gets his master's license, he can start a business and create generational wealth for himself and his erstwhile wife. She stopped being a girlfriend and became a wife halfway through that description. She's sold now. Anyway, I digress. And the nice thing is, with that generational wealth, there is a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of money that can be granted to her, can be granted to her children, that she now feels assured will have a future. Man, that is a very cheery outlook. But I am an optimistic person, and we need more optimism right now. So, forging ahead. With that in mind, we've talked about a few things here. Now, let me go through my mental notes and make sure that I'm not missing anything. There's something else that needs to be hit here. Now. I mentioned that this is to elevate the way that we view our trades, because I feel that Mike Rowe made a mistake. I know. I love Mike Rowe. I do. I love him. I love a lot of the work that he's done, and I appreciate what he has done thus far to elevate the trades. But there was a mistake. It was because he made the show, he called it Dirty Jobs. Now, what does that say to you? Dirty jobs. That says, these are jobs that you don't want to do. Thank God for the people that are doing these jobs. But I'm so glad that I don't do them. That is what that title says. So, we just have to tweak it a little bit. Instead of just being something that gives awareness, it elevates. It says, this is the thing that you want to do. And I mean, to be sure, in reality, it is. We need more tradesmen. People will pay top dollar for you. And if they won't pay top dollar for you, if you have the skills, you can become the person who pays top dollar for other people who have those talents and pay them what they're worth. You can become the competition that makes it so that all of those people who are underpaying their workers so that they can't make a living, they have to compete with you. Now, isn't that fun? Now, I digress. This would be one of the things that I think would be a great prize to grant for particularly competing in the master level of the thing. A sponsorship from one of the many groups that will be drawn into this thing, because knowledge, advertisement, everybody knowing who you are, and the money to actually start your own business and keep it running and get the advertisement support that you need to be out there making the money, making change, and making America and me proud. I know you don't care what I think of you, but I love you anyway. Now, with all of that said, we have of course a cool concept. We have where some of the money will come from. I'll explain a little bit more of that later. We have what this will do for the American society on the trade side of things, making it so that our tradesmen are looked upon like pro sportsmen are. And we have the idea of how we incentivize the tradesmen to perform, to get into this thing. We have the idea of how to foster tradesmanship in the younger generation with the junior license and participation of the high schools, possibly even lower levels, but I think we want to keep it to high schools. Just, liability reasons. At the high schools, limited. In the colleges, and of course, company to company. complications. And we've also mentioned the idea that it makes you sexy. It makes you lovely. Because the T in T-sports also stands for testosterone. Mm-hmm. And so that will also help with the birth rate. Hopefully. Making people more useful so that women will actually say, yes, I believe in you. I will join you on this wonderful journey called marriage. Okay, maybe not marriage. I know that's pastiche these days, but I like marriage. And I think anybody who's in the Christian side of things also loves marriage. But beside the point. Make a person more useful. That way they can be one step closer to acquiring a wonderful mate. Now, that isn't to say that it's going to do everything for you. You still got to get your riz. But I digress. It will help. Trust me, it will help. Now, we've got all of those things. Now, I said some of the funding. Where else would the funding come from? Well, we happen to have an administration that has a vested interest in raising up the next generations. I'm talking, of course, of the Trump administration. Now, I know at this point the lefties have gone like, nope, I'm out. And, that's fine. But I will tell you, hopefully before you go, remember, this is the situation that we are all in. You want to use everything at your disposal to actually make things work. And I know the idea of, going out and trashing things and all that stuff. Protesting. That's a way to do stuff. But, the other way to do stuff is to improve the people in all sorts of different ways. So, in my estimation, I think Trump would be very interested in funding something like this, an initiative of this sort, because it's an event. You can do it it's an event. You can do it kind of like those old shows that he did in the Trump Tower. The one where he said, "You're fired." Except in this case, it's "You're hired." Because you've got the skills to pay the bills. Now, that is a long shot thing, but I do think that it is a worthwhile one, and it would give getting a government grant to do something like this, a movement to improve the general tradesmanship of the average American, because we're going to make this an event that everyone watches. We're going to make this an event that everyone watches. I think it would be worthwhile. And I mean, hell, we've also got Elon Musk. He's got buku dollars. Yeah, let's get him in there. Let's get him in there as well. And anyone else who's really into this idea of self-improvement and all that stuff, your Goggins is. I mean, maybe. I don't know if we're gonna get Rogan on this thing, but it'd be lovely. Mike Rowe, of course, and his foundation. I think it would be grand. And I also mentioned all of the tool companies and the companies that make the various different fixtures that you use on a regular basis, such as your fire alarms, your doorbells, your doors, your windows, all of those things. All of these things can be sponsors. And they will produce the money that we need to create our wonderful T Stadium. Now, we don't necessarily need to create a T Stadium for this initially. We can rent out other open-air stadiums or closed stadiums to do this work. And we can even do things where we don't even use stadiums. We can just go out into the middle of nowhere so that we avoid zoning laws. I'm thinking Western Kansas because it's homestead territory. So we can just do whatever the fuck we want. Just go out to the homestead territory and start building. And the nice thing is, if we do this right, we can actually create it to where every time we do an event, we create new housing, new facilities, new buildings. We can actually have people apply to have their buildings be in this performance. And the nice thing is, because of the prestige that we want, we're going to be drawing in the best of the best. So that would be one of the reasons to be on there. It's also a little bit of a nice boon. This was built by the T Games. It's advertisement for us. It's advertisement for you. It's win-win. Now, all of that said, is there anything else that I'm missing? Well, just a few other points, I think. Now, like I said, we've got the incentives to join into this thing. You know, it makes you a cool guy. Makes you very useful. And for the people that are performing at a higher level, you might actually achieve the funding that you need to perhaps revamp your already existing trade shop or start a new one. And I believe that this will be a grand thing, a great boon. And we get to participate in America's most consistent and greatest export. Do you know what it is? No, it's not weapons. I mean, yes, it is weapons. It is weapons, but okay, the second one. Okay. Culture. We export culture. And the nice thing is, we can take this even bigger. We can make this into a thing that is actually worldwide, where our tradesmen compete with tradesmen all across the world. Where we have the T Games in Europe, we have the T Games in Africa, we have the T Games in Asia, and probably we'd have to have a separate one for Russia and a separate one for China, and probably a separate one for the different emirates there. I know they're having some tiffs right now. Probably have a specific one for Japan. I mean, mostly because they're so different. They're so unique. I love them. And, you know, for the sake of it, have a T Games in Greenland because we're trying to buy it. So why not? South America, I forgot about you. Yes, we'll have a T Games there, too. Have it there, too. Lovely. But with all of that said, we participate in the export of American culture around the world. We put ourselves back into that position that we used to be, where we are the hardest working people in the world. We do industrious things. We are industrious people. I want us to be that again. And it's going to take a little bit, but I think the T Games will be part and parcel to getting us there. Now, I said I had something for all of you AI guys, you tech bros. I know, you had to wait through a whole bunch of stuff to get here, and I appreciate your patience. Now, as you know, you're probably thinking, okay, that's wonderful, doing the trades and everything. Automation's going to come in and scoop it up. So why do this? Now, in my estimation, the first thing is the T Games make it so that the validity of the trades endures. So we still have something. It's just kind of like we have something like pro sports. Well, people will continue to learn how to do this stuff, and we need to preserve that knowledge, because if we lose that knowledge, humanity dies a-bornin'. Or at the very least, it doesn't die a-borning, but it slowly but surely loses its ability to sustain itself until it just dissipates entirely. So there's that aspect of things. But on the AI side of things, what if I told you that we could also do T Games for DARPA bots and, you know, those servant bots that people are so fond of creating? We can do T Games for those too. And the nice thing is, we'll do it like the Indy 500 used to be, where it was actually a means to push forward technology. Instead of using stock cars and having a set way that these vehicles have to be built and limitations therein, back in the day it was just make a fast car. And so People did everything, did whatever they could to figure it out. And this would be the same idea. Make a robot that can do the job. And so you would have the AIT games. The AIT games. Ain't it grand? But with that said, you'd have the AIT games. And, it'd be an offshoot. I think it would take a little bit more work to get that going, but I feel like it would be an awesome thing. We can do a lot of the same stuff that we're already doing, and I'm seeing, if you're paying attention to the different channels on the Instagrams and the TikToks, there's already people who could compete at these things. I mean, some of the stuff people are making in their garages, it's amazing. And the other part of this also, when I'm talking about that Indy 500 thing, if we roll back to the original T games, this is the thing. We can actually push forward the technology that is used to work in houses. We can make that stuff better, safer, more reliable, faster. Why? Because there's an incentive to let your people perform better in the games, which improves the advertisement for your brand, improves the advertisement for your people, improves the advertisement for yourself. It's all good, baby. It's all good. Now, with that said, I will do a recap, and let me see if I can pull all of this off the top of my head. Good luck, me. Yes, thank you, me. Good luck, me. All right, so to recap, the idea here is to elevate America by elevating the trades. We do this by making the trades into a pro sport and making it a prestigious thing, much like baseball, basketball, or the other bit. But we give it the splash, dash, and pizzazz of the American Gladiators, or Ninja Warrior, or Mr. Beast's games, or WWE. We give it that splash and dash. And we have it work a little bit like esports, where you've got some grassroots people doing their own thing in their own spaces. And we actually proliferate it not just across trade companies, but we also proliferate it across universities, across schools, across colleges. We make it a thing that you can grow up with, which is part of the reason that we create the junior license, so that you have a way in before apprenticeship, because apprenticeship has gained that 2-year thing. I don't know. It might have actually gone up to 5 years. There's jobflation happening there. It's stupid. Anyway, I digress. We elevate the trades with this whole thing. We make it so that it is no longer the job that you thank someone else for doing and don't want to do yourself, but it's the job that you want to do because it makes you cool. It makes you sexy, and it makes you the money. And it makes you famous. All wonderful things. And we do distribution of this via an app. We do something kind of like what The Chosen did, where we have an app that lets you know when the tournaments are happening. We have an app that lets you know when registration and qualifications are happening. We have and it also gives you tips. It teaches you how to do this stuff. I mean, this is an all-in-one Swiss Army application. It allows you to learn. It gives you the means to get in there. Tells you who locally is actually looking for T Games participants who wants to actually get in on this stuff. And it actually gives you what you need, the requirements you need to meet to actually get into the T Games. And we can actually also use it as a way, as a registry for your license. Now, again, I don't want to give the unions more power than they already have with this whole licensing thing. So I don't think it's necessarily going to be a requirement to participate in these games. Rather, it's going to be something that you can get from participating in these games. Now, with that said, we also have the sponsorships. As I mentioned before, it's going to be all of the people that make the tools that you use on the regular basis to do this kind of work, and the various appliances and other items that are used to make these things, to make houses, to do washing machines, to all of that stuff. So that's going to be a part of the sponsors. I also believe that we can get government funding because Lord knows we need more tradespeople, and this is a great avenue to do it, let me tell you. Now, in addition to just to harp back on the distribution element of it as well, we will be using we can use our own server farms for this, and the nice thing is that the server farms can be building up money on the side. We can use them to mine, Bitcoin, obviously, but other altcoins as well. We might even make a coin for this whole thing. We're not going to call it T-Bucks, or maybe we should, just to be cheeky. But we make a coin for this whole thing, and we can use that for exchanges and stuff. We could probably even use that for a limited form of betting on individuals that actually participate in this thing. Now, in addition to the broadcasting on the apps, we would also be doing broadcasting on Twitch and all those other things, Twitch, Kick, and all that other stuff. The important thing is that we're getting it on this. Because this is a captured audience. This is an installed audience. So, with that said, I mentioned government funding because I believe that with the current administration and what I think will be the administration for a little bit further forward, we can get a lot of money to do this. So, and I mentioned that this would also do a lot for the view of America from the outside, because we're actually turning our people into useful, awesome, ingenious people. And I also mentioned that this might prove to be a motivating factor for improving the various tools that we already use on the day-to-day in the trades. And it can also prove to be a motivating factor for if we do the AIT games as well. A motivating factor for the improvement of those. And this is a thing that is already being done. It just hasn't been done with the prestige and the pizzazz that I think it can be. And that's the Greenlee tournaments down in Florida. So you can look at those to get a sense of what I'm talking about here. We'd make a lot of new games. With a bit more draw to them and a little bit of coolness, and we'd have to make sure that that they're built around the fact that they can be recorded and broadcast. I think this is going to be very important. But we do it like that, and that would be the idea. So that is the T games in a nutshell. And like I said, I think there's a huge opportunity here. I think this is a great concept to move forward on, and yeah, that's the thing. This is part of how we save America. Bye-bye.